Hey, cousins. We just rolling. If you notice, I made slight adjustment to the way I start these podcasts. I'm going to do it like the baby. You know how you turn on the baby song and he just start rapping? There you go. So we're going to go right into this. I always had the stance that pro wrestling is not a sport. I thought we all understood this. I thought we all had the same consent and understood that pro wrestling is not a sport. And because pro wrestling is not a sport and it's being promoted as if it's a sport, I think that is one of the reasons why it's having a very difficult time engaging and crossing over and things like that. And when I mean crossing over, I don't mean like people discovering it, because everybody knows what pro wrestling is in WWE and AEW. Everyone knows that. But I don't think it's taken hold like we think. A lot of y'all think that wrestling is super popular, and it's really not. It's really not. 2 to 3 million people. I would even be liberal. 5 million tops are clamoring to see pro wrestling. And at this point, it's completely dwindled when you got motherfuckers talking about, I don't give a damn about no families. I'm out here to get this shmoney. Bull right out their goddamn mouth full of bridge teeth. I mean, what do you expect? But either way, let's move on to this conversation. Cousins, put on your ears, please, because I need you to get in the comments so we can fight. Pro wrestling is not a sport. Okay, because its outcomes are predetermined for entertainment purposes rather than being the result of a genuine competition. Football, rugby, lacrosse, tennis, basketball, track and field, right? Ice skating, cheerleading. These are sports. Yes, cheerleading is a sport. Okay. Golf. If golf is a sport, cheerleading is a sport. Okay. These aren't predetermined outcomes. Now we could say if people loading up the dice and cheating and shit and all that payola, we could talk about that, but we're going to keep it just straight and narrow for the sanity of this conversation. Predetermined is the main thing. People who are watching their favorite sports teams in the summer, watching Super Bowls and all that, there is no script. Okay, these guys fight and scratch and scrouch through seasons and get where they got from hard work and sheer determination. At least that is how it is presented to us. Okay. Pro wrestling, on the other hand, is predetermined. You are chosen, and that was shown in the quote unquote scripted series Unreal, when Paul Levesque walked up to Jey Uso and said, "I'm choosing you." And Jey was like, "Yeah." Because if pro wrestling really went on merit, hard work, determination, then the people that are holding titles right now probably wouldn't be holding them. It does combine athleticism. So what is real is people really do get injured. People really do hurt themselves. Whether it's an accident or happenstance, like Liv Morgan, or a motherfucker get bowled the hell over and break their shit up. Like, I don't know, name anybody who got their shit cracked. Like Jade Cargill, apparently. She got her shit cracked and the woman ain't showed up. Meanwhile, she down to the windshield and came back like ain't nothing happened. Okay, we ain't gonna go there though. We ain't gonna go there. That was a real bad cut though. It was a real bad cut. Like you can see it to the white meat. You can see it to the white meat. That's what's real. The matches are choreographed and scripted. And I'm gonna tell you something about this camera work. We can talk about this camera work as of late. I don't know who the cameraman is. I don't know who's the production back there in terms of camera. I believe it's Lee Fitton and Paul Levesque. You are showing all of the fuck ups. We can hear the calling of the match. You are literally very lackluster when it comes to your camera work. There's even times where we are missing whole moves and they got to do a replay because the cameraman ain't where he's supposed to be. Or you and Gorilla ain't calling the camera so we can see what the fuck is going on. If you're not able to do that, just have the camera sit in the front view on the hard cam and we can just watch the match from there. But when y'all get to moving around and wanting to show different angles and get all in the corner like this is a real boxing match, that's when the shit get fucked up. Predetermined outcomes, let's talk about it. Predetermined outcomes, that is not something that happens in sports. Now, when it does, there's a commission for that. And you could get in real big trouble if they are found that you've been cheating and all of that stuff. Those are really good stories if you want to get deep in that. Boxing, right? Football, right? Anybody ever watched the movie Focus with Will Smith and old girl who played Barbie? So they had one of their guys on the field, and the Asian guy wanted to like have this high stakes situation and pick a shirt or whatever, pick a number that was going to go out there and do a move. That type of shit's predetermined. Now, she didn't know, but she just got lucky. But Will Smith had his guy out there on the field and hoped that she was going to pick the right number. And she did, and they end up winning money or whatever the case. But the whole point is that's not supposed to happen in actual sports. But in pro wrestling, winners and losers are decided in advance by writers and producers, not by participants' athletic skill every given day. Because if we just went on athleticism alone, Nia Jax would not be working, even though she played basketball and was a model. In the condition she's in right now, Nia would not be working. Okay? The Tiffany's, the Jades, and bitches built like small tanks would be all up and through there if we're just going by athleticism. All right? Okay, very good. Sami Zayn would not be working. Jimmy, I don't know what he's back there fucking and getting people pregnant and that gut spilling all over them clothes. Okay? The Usos, the goddamn, what's his name? The plumber, Jay-Z, Shazay. Listen. He's not a power lifter like Otis. Otis big, but Otis is nothing but muscle. Look like. Focus on entertainment. The primary goal is to entertain spectators through dramatic storylines, larger-than-life characters, and spectacles, not to provide a competitive athletic contest. And this is right here. Let's say it again. Come here, say it with me. Pro wrestling is here to entertain with spectacle and larger-than-life characters, not competitive athletic contests. When you giving me 15-minute matches, I'm not here for that. I'm not here for 15-minute matches. I'm not here for a clinic. I'm here for about 10 minutes and a bitch getting slapped or somebody pulling a gun out or fucking lights go off and a goddamn fairy come flying out of Mother Leather's ass and attacks Io Sky and bites her nose. I'm here for shit that I ain't never seen before and that will never happen in real life. That is not what I'm getting. They have taken the spectacle, the larger-than-life character, and the dramatic storylines outside of the pro wrestling spectrum because they are pushing this as if it's really an athletic competition. And I think this is where WWE and any other pro wrestling fit, any other pro wrestling outfit, if you're trying to do that, you're going to have a very difficult time. The reason why a majority of us fell in love with wrestling is because we saw some goofy shit. I did not get into wrestling because, oh my God, look how he did that leg lock. A Hurricanrana. No, I got into wrestling because I saw goofy shit. I saw Macho Man talking about, oh yeah, and we going again. He moving his fingers, and I didn't know what the fuck this man was talking about. He went in there and had a 2-minute match. Motherfucker was laid out because he done bust him over the head with a brick. Stone Cold walking in drunk. Who want to fight? Look to the side, stun a motherfucker. That's why I like wrestling, because I'm sitting here like this. You can never do no shit like that in real life. Now you got people walking in like they coming to work. I don't want to see that shit every time. No. Choreographed performances. Matches are planned, rehearsed, choreographed to minimize danger and create a specific show or add drama to the story. Listen, I know y'all can wrestle. And I like that. I'm happy for you. Matter of fact, give a round of applause for people that can wrestle. Very good. If I want to see wrestling, I could just go ahead and turn it to NCAA or an Olympics and watch real stiff-ass, cringe-fest wrestling. I never could get into professional wrestling on an Olympic or collegiate level. They look like they finna snap each other's fucking heads off. And I just be sitting there like, ooh, I don't cringe at pro wrestling sometimes. That's just because the way those motherfuckers be landing and all that. if it's gonna be choreographed, at least make that shit look good. It ain't nothing like watching terrible dances. Y'all remember that girl in Australia who mocked and made a joke out of hip hop dance, out of breaking? Yes. And then we had to wait for the blacks and the Koreans to come in and show this bitch what she was supposed to be doing. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that in pro wrestling. I'm watching people, they not even connecting or even attempting to hit they, fake punches. They falling out before legs even hit. Botchamania, stay having content because choreographed performances aren't clean. It just looks lazy and lackadaisical. I get it when shit don't happen, when a table don't break or woo-doo-woo-doo. I get that. But if all you got to do is the usual hit me, I hit you, hit me, I hit you, and I'm hearing John Cena kick me in the face or Bailey slap me in the head. Like if I'm doing, what the hell's the point? You're losing me. Sports entertainment classification. Because of the scripted and non-competitive nature, many legal and regulatory bodies like the New York State Athletic Commission legally classify professional wrestling as an exhibition or performance rather than a legitimate sport. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because Vince McMahon did not want to be beholden to any type of regulation. Now, if this is going to be a sport and you're going to have it on ESPN and all of this bullshit is being pushed and shoved down people's throats, you need to go ahead and get with this athletic commission so you can get busted over the head for all the shit that you doing and ain't got no business. Independent contractor that's fucking really an employee and treated like that. Yeah, because he don't want to pay no health care and don't want to do no shit. They put him under as independent contractors where you got to pay for every motherfucking thing. Everything. There's a method to all of this madness, and for the most part, it's because of greed and lack of humanity, okay? Yes. Even in the realm of pro wrestling that we all love, humanity is not available to these professional wrestlers. What can you do? Lastly, real athleticism in danger. Despite the scripted nature, no pro wrestlers are highly athletic performers who endure real pain and risk injury during performance. Yes, they are. Now you got the NIL, next in line contracts. Out here in Ohio, it's the Ohio High School Association of Athletics, something like that. The parents are pushing for NIL contracts for high school prospects because in these parts, if you're not from the Midwest, see, I'm from New York, and I mean, football and stuff wasn't big like that in New York, maybe in the circles I ran in, but out here in places like the Midwest and stuff, if you watch the movie Friday Night Lights, I live in towns that really take high school football fucking seriously. And it's so serious that these colleges scout these prospective athletes early. I've even seen fucking these agents go to little leagues. I've even seen them at little leagues. They'll go looking for the next baseball player 8-9 years old and follow them into high school. Okay? This is what's going on with these NIL contracts. And I know on the main, if you go over to my Patreon, I'm talking about where there's a controversy about the NIL because a lot of these young men and women are coming into these professional sports already millionaires. They already lined. They already stacked up bands for days. So they get to pick and choose where they want to go. And now what's happening is all these sports and stuff is feeling some kind of way because at the end of the day, I'm a millionaire. I don't got to go break my motherfucking body. But you hear things like, where's the hunger? Where's the poor people? Oh my God. It's really awful that you are preying on people's desperation just so you can pad your motherfucking pockets. So with all that being said, these pro athletes have to pay for everything in the WWE. I don't know how AEW does it, but in WWE, they pay for everything. So when you got people like Ridge Holland, who took a $200,000 pay cut, knowing this man had to pay for every motherfucking thing, only to get fired and kicked in the ass, you gotta really really know what you're getting into when you working with a group of people like TKO, like Silver Lake, who quietly owns this whole operation. Okay, so with all that being said, the athletes are coming in. You get in basketball. I see rugby. I see cheerleading. I see flag football, professional soccer, lacrosse. Like you getting all of these various different avenues of athleticism because they're easy to coach. They got the look already and they're excited to be in something new. But these athletes are also professionals and it ain't but so much they're going to deal with. Okay? So, with all that being said, I'm going to leave right there. Pro wrestling's not a sport. Do you think it's a sport? I hope not, because it ain't. It ain't really no goddamn debate, but we could go ahead and debate. Y'all hit me in the comments.